Hi, I'm Jared.
And I'm Brad.
And this week on Hood Slappers, we're going to be reviewing the 2021 Honda Civic.
It has lines in all the proper places, an aggressive but exciting front end, and is fit for anyone who wants a reliable and inexpensive car with a load of standard features. With subtle design influences from Porsche, Audi, BMW, and a flying saucer, the Honda Civic is definitely an eye-catcher. With a starting price of just over $25,000, it's no wonder the Civic has been the #1 selling car in Canada since 1998.
But does that mean it's good? Because the #1 album of all time is Thriller, and I've never listened to it in its entirety. The #1 movie of all time apparently is Avatar, and I couldn't tell you anything about it. And the #1 religion in the world apparently is Christianity, but you're not supposed to talk about religion at work. But the question still remains, just because you're #1, does that automatically make you good? Well, that's what we're here to find out.
Okay, I think I get what you're saying. Just because it's the #1 selling car doesn't mean it's a great car.
That's exactly what I'm saying, because before the Civic was #1, the Cavalier was #1. And that's not because it was a good car, that's because it was a cheap car. You know, I don't want our viewers to be swayed by the masses. If 9 out of 10 doctors say Cialis is good for erectile dysfunction, but it gives you hearing loss and blindness, I'm not on board for that. I just don't want these people to be swayed. But I think this is a good car. The masses might be correct about the car, not erections.
Well, I would agree with you. Here's my biggest problem with the Civic, to be honest, is in its 10th design now, it feels very familiar. The design hasn't changed since, I think, 2016. It feels tired to me. It's lost some of its excitement. I really think it could use an upgrade to its look.
And that's interesting because the Civic went down 29% in sales last year, but still managed to hang on to its #1 spot.
Well, and you know, here's the thing that Honda does so well that we can never forget. It is just gold star, top of the line when it comes to producing reliable, safe cars that have a ton of standard features. And to me, that's just something you can't beat Honda at. I mean, can I read you a list of the things that come standard on this vehicle?
You have the floor.
This is standard feature stuff here. 7-inch display screen. Automatic climate control, heated front seats, independent suspension, multi-angle backup camera, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Honda Sensing, which is kind of autonomous driving, and Econ mode. Those are standard. And then, of course, you bump up, of course, to what we're driving, the touring model. You get these things: push button start, remote start, navigation, leather seats, wireless charging, LED headlights, a moonroof, and Honda's blind spot camera. I mean, there's got to be a day coming, Jared, where I feel like a whole bunch of engineers and car execs are just going to get together and be like, we're done. There's nothing more you can put into a car. We've put in everything.
Yeah.
Everything that can be in is in.
So that begs the question, is there anything you can think of that a car might be missing that we could see one day? If you could add one thing to a car.
That's a great question.
I'll tell you what I would add.
What's that?
One of those ice makers. How many times, you know, you get in your car, I left my water in the car.
On a hot day like today, it's like basically hot by the time you just open up your glove box.
I don't know how I'm driving this car without an ice dispenser.
I'll tell you what, in the moment one car introduces it, oh, you're going to have your luxury ice.
Oh.
Balls of ice, chipped ice.
Crushed and cubed.
Crushed and cubed.
You go on a hike, you twist your ankle. It's not just for beverages. I think it's important not to get caught up in all the toys and features the car has, and remember the whole brains of the operation. I mean, this engine started it all.
Well, not this engine.
No, not this engine. I mean, I can't imagine Soichiro Honda would have thought putting an engine on a bicycle would lead to something like this. It's really a great story, and I would buy a Honda just to be a part of that.
With the Civic, you get 2 engine choices. You can go with the base model 2-liter engine, which gets you 158 horsepower, or you can bump it up to the 1.5-liter turbo engine, which gets you 174 horsepower.
Both engines produce a very impressive fuel economy rating of 7.1 liters per 100 kilometers, both highway, and city. But not only that, the Civic only produces 167 grams per kilometer of CO2. Now, I have no idea what that means, but the average on a car this size is 180 grams.
And with that, it is my time to drive.
It feels so weird being on this side.
Oh, man. Ooh, I like the feel of it, Jared. I like overall, I like what I'm experiencing here, but I'll tell you what, if I had one critique of the Civic, it's the Cvt transmission. I've never been a fan of Cvt transmission, and I don't like it. I will say this, in terms of Cvt transmissions, I think Honda does it best, but that's kind of like saying, hey, I might be dating my sister, but at least I'm dating the best looking one.
I know exactly what you mean. You know, there's two things about Honda that I don't know if they're true, but I've heard them, and I can't find out. So I'm investigating, and if there's any viewers out there that can tell me if this is true or not, two things I've heard about Honda. One of them is, in Canada, Honda logo is red. And in the United States, the Honda logo is blue. And I've been told the reason for that is communism. Communism is the red is, you know,
Really?
and the United States didn't want that in their country. This is what I hear. Is that true? If you can write us and let us know, info@hoodslappers.com, or even in the comments below. I'd be very interested to know the truth on that. And the other thing I heard about Honda, and I don't know if this is true either, Honda designed a jet. And my understanding is that when all the engineers and designers that were good went to go build the jet, once the jet was produced and done, they had no jobs, and Hyundai got them all. And that's when Hyundai started building better looking cars. Those are two things, I don't know if they're true. I don't really care if they're true, but it would be interesting to find out if there's any truth there. Well, I can see why so many people like the Civic. It's fun to drive, it has great features, legendary engines, and it looks good too. It's that car that long after you own it, you'll always look back with fondness and think, man, that was a great car. So, with that, I give the 2021 Honda Civic my hood slap of approval.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.